Dice Company contains fantasy violence, mature themes, and unapologetic bickering. No feelings were hurt in the making of it, but listener discretion is advised. Dice Company will always be free, but it's not free to make. Please consider supporting us on Patreon or Apple Podcasts and get access to our weekly roundtable show Extra Roll. Just follow any of the links in the show notes for this chapter.
Welcome one and all to Dice Company's Small Embers. We're a group of old friends with tales of triumph, heroism and despair under the guise of playing Dungeons and Dragons. My name is Tom and I'll be your DM through the continuing adventures of the Order of the Heron and its band of soup-stained prison breakers. Soup-stained prison breakers, please introduce yourselves and tell us one fun fact about your characters.
Hello, I am Dave and I play Bennie Quez. Bennie has been reflecting on the dragon encounter in the storm, and he has realised that nothing weird happened. No fireballs exploded from his chest. He didn't age by however many years. The deck of the Sterling wasn't carpeted with flowers for no reason. So he figures the training with Seraphina must be going well. His dog did make him invisible, but he thinks that was probably unconnected.
Shame that Vander's training didn't get a mention there.
What training?
Who?
We did. Just that's the sound of me getting back in my box.
Hi, I'm Harry, and I play Tock, an imposing 6'8" automaton. And it's well established that Tock is a sweetheart, gentle giant, guardian and custodian of plants and small creatures. But it hasn't been so established as to how imposing he is. So to get a better idea, the mass ratio between Tock and the smaller humans, like Vander and Bennie, is very similar to that between them and Lenny the dog.
Equations or it didn't happen.
I did ask the GM beforehand.
Show your workings.
As nothing short of a personal attack.
We must look like ants to you.
Wait precisely 7 days for my response, and you'll find my next fun fact.
It's also a nice attempt to slip that Tock is apparently agreed upon sweetheart at this point.
It was such an authoritative voice that I just took it as fact. It's like, oh.
It was.
Yeah. You got to
Despite
get
the
tacit
blood
approval.
magic.
Hi, I'm Charlie, and I play Vander Finnick. During the rest, Vander has had another dream. In it, he saw again his childhood friend, Torin Goldstone. But this time, Torin was dressed in military uniform. Standing beside Torin was Vander's horse, and fastened to its saddle, Vander's old sword gleaming in the starlight. Looking searchingly, Torin held out the reins to him. A moment passed, but encouraged by Torin's smile, Vander slowly reached out to take them. But just as his hand closed on the reins, he woke.
That was nice.
Oh, it's kind of sad.
Plus, dreams are cool because they allow to allude to stuff and...
Oh, I was alluding everywhere.
Oh, the illusion.
So, what sword did he favour?
Ah, well, it's a dream, so you only get the representation of the sword here, he says slyly. Yeah, more to come on that.
I like that you sense the trap that Harry left you there. Oh, what kind of sword is it? I'm prepared to be annihilated by my knowledge.
Yeah, I very much chose, exactly. I chose the dodge action. There you go.
Yeah. I did just send you a picture of various sword types, didn't I? Well done for remembering your own backstory.
I'll take it.
We have many faces.
We really are an abusive circle of friends, aren't we?
You wait,
100%.
Al's up next.
Here we go. Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm playing Augustus. And Augustus is piling up some titles for himself. He is first son of Denothlia, brother of the Order of the Heron, Knight of Scarlet, champion of Whiterun, and slayer of the terrifying Zombie King.
Fantastic. I would add, you're also the champion of Tyr, which might be the most important of the titles.
What a paladin.
What a paladin.
Oh, hang on, I haven't got my What a Paladin t-shirt on. Hang on, you wait till the break. I'm also champion of a phony baloney wrestling tournament, so shut up.
Yeah, I was going to say that was technicality. Go on.
Yeah.
Champion of Tyr also. That's it. That's implied in the rest.
Is it?
Can the gods hear the fun facts?
I really am a shit paladin. Being a paladin is hard.
You make it look difficult, to be fair.
I wish I was one of the easy things like a monk or a druid.
As I was here, I'd be actively looking to strike him down at this stage.
You mean he's saying that sword was legit? It wasn't cursed at all. It was just Tear saying, "Oh, kill him."
This is
Tear went into
follow
fuck it
someone
mode.
else. Just follow someone else.
I'm just going to lash this champion into a wall and get a better one.
Not even meant to be a vengeful god, but you are taking this.
Before we begin, remember to check out our Discord community for the chance to chat to some awesome people. If you'd like to support the show, go to our Patreon. Links for all of these are in the show notes. And if you'd like to own your own piece of Dice Company history, check out our merchandise on our official website, dicecompanypodcast.com. Woohoo! That's it, get it out of your systems.
Merch.
That's why I left the pause, which includes the custom character-specific dice sets made by Shelby Cat, and our most popular item thus far, I find that to be acceptable, t-shirt.
Yeah.
And with that,
I can't be it. I just can't be it.
and remember,
It really is it. Oh my God.
no one truly knows a nation until one has been inside its jails. A nation shouldn't be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest. As we'll discover in the next chapter of Dice Company.
You cannot mix those two things.
Previously on Dice Company, the Order of the Heron made their near week-long trip north from Whiterun to the Fingers, the maximum security prison of the Empire. Having been waylaid by a young black dragon, 2 storms, and stopping off to paint your ship the Sterling a neutral grey colour, you arrived late afternoon on the 15th of Harvesttide. You hope to break your old friend Caelan Lux from incarceration before his trial the following day on the 16th, and also investigate whether the prisoner Amber is actually Augustus's sister Aurora, but was shocked when you arrived to see the Emperor's personal airship, the Ravager, in place over the Fingers. With the sun threatening to set, what would you like to do?
So Bennie looks in horror at the Ravager. That feels like all our plans are out of the window.
Indeed.
Anyone got any clever ideas beyond running away? I mean, running away sounds quite good.
Bennie, your suggestion of out of the window feels appropriate. If we take the Sterling above the Ravager and throw ourselves off the gunnels, we can descend past the Ravager to the prison.
I assume you're talking about the old mosquito, featherfall totems.
Indeed, Bennie.
Yeah, gets us onto ground, I suppose. What's everyone else thinking?
I have a suggestion.
Says Vander, shuffling forward.
Are we going to like it?
I think it will get rid of one of our little problems whilst presenting an opportunity. As Tock observed, we can indeed guide the ship above the Ravager, and whilst falling, perhaps we can leave them a little gift, one that explodes.
You refer to the barrel of explosives, Vander.
I do indeed, Tock. Perhaps a fuse, some timing mechanism. Is that within your craft?
Indeed, Vander. I will prepare the mushrooms. How long would you like the fuse?
I would like exactly 1 hour of mushrooms. Thank you, Tock.
That will be possible.
When you say we can leave him a little gift, Vander.
Yes, I mean, of course, you, Bennie.
I thought, of course, you might mean me.
Excellent. A fine plan.
It's agreed. Great. Fantastic stuff. Augustus, I suppose you like this one as well.
I'm comfortable with the plan, Bennie.
Yeah, I thought you might be.
Well then, gentlemen, as per the plan, I will now change. I suggest you do the same.
And Vander shuffles towards his cabin.
What are you changing into, Vander?
My favourite guise, of course. A torturer.
Augustus also heads to his quarters. He is changing into a Bounder captain's uniform.
Can I ask, the Bounders at the fingers have white epaulettes. Are you going as a bounder from the fingers or a bounder from exterior to the fingers?
I am going as a bounder from exterior to the fingers.
Of course
We are a mission coming in, because obviously if I try to look like a bounder who's from here, then I could be sort of called out. Whereas if I'm meant to be a visitor, then I'm less likely to be tripped up by like a who the hell are you kind of question.
Right. Tock, how much would you like to get into the bag of holding and come with me to the Ravager?
Approximately 80%, Benny.
Good enough.
You see Tock is like taking out and measuring little strips of a mushroom, which he's attaching to the barrel of explosives.
Vander emerges from his cabin unchanged, because of course he's always dressed as a torturer.
I'm coming as a serial killer because they look just like us.
But he does carry under his arm a bag of sorts, out of which protrude various instruments that look horrific in nature. He also carries in his other hand a ring of keys.
I was going to say, was the first bag his lunch?
Or the bag sloshes with soup.
Send off your children of the many-toothed king.
You're all stood on the poop deck of the Sterling, and slightly obscured through the blizzard-like conditions are the Ravager and the Fingers ahead of you.
Came the morrow, I was feeling quite alright.
Vander calls Otis.
The heavy metal marching of Otis approaches. Yes, Vander.
Otis, I take it you have observed the rather imposing presence of the Ravager.
Yes, Vander.
I need you to guide the ship far above it in the clouds. We will descend from there and take care of this little inconsistency. You will need to come and join us with the Sterling towards the rear of the Fingers when you get the signal, which will of course be the explosion of the Ravager. Do you understand?
I understand, Vander.
Assuming our little plan goes awry, please also proceed to the rendezvous point if you see red sparks.
I find this to be acceptable.
I see,
Says Vander, his one eye narrowing.
Thank you, Otis.
Vander, I would suggest a height lower than 10,000 feet.
Of course. Otis,
Yes, Vander.
I take it you heard that last stipulation?
Yes, Vander.
Excellent. Now, I guess we wait for Augustus.
Augustus appears, just adding the final layer of wax to his moustache.
You make a fine bounder captain, Augustus.
Why, thank you, Vander. You make a fine vagrant.
Vander passes Augustus the keys.
A little addition to make your guise all the more fitting. Perhaps a trade for keys that open doors will be a possibility once inside.
Augustus gives the keys a cheery jangle.
Augustus,
Yes, Tock.
would you find it acceptable for me to carry your greatsword? I am unaware of bounder captains that carry a flaming greatsword.
That sounds very wise, Tock. I shall take my rapier, and should the going get tough, down on the ground. Does that band exist?
No.
Jesus. Should we encounter difficulties, Tock, and we are reunited and within the prison, I can take the greatsword from the bag of holding and we can attempt to fight our way free.
So Tock takes the greatsword, puts it in a rudimentary sort of like sheath that he's got that will at least cover the blade so it doesn't cause too much tension, and puts it in the bag of holding.
Bennie observes all this jocularity and asks, "Why are you all so bloody cheerful? I'm absolutely shitting myself."
We are to strike a blow against the Empire, Benny. It is a good thing.
Life is only fun because it's fragile, Bennie. Enjoy it.
Tock looks rather confused at Vander.
I share your trepidation, Benny, but I've waited a long time for any lead as to where my sister may be. So for me, fear is cast aside in place of eagerness to get started.
I don't know. I can't help but feel this was my idea, and I'm starting to wonder whether it was the right one.
It's a fine idea, Benny. And Augustus claps Benny on the shoulder in that way that no one wants to be clapped.
Well, if it gets us all killed, then I'm sorry.
It's a risk we're all willing to take, Benny.
It is a sound plan, Bennie. A lot of people will die tonight. Let's just make sure that it isn't us.
Not sneaking in and out without getting noticed then. Okay. Tock,
Indeed, Benny.
I reckon we need to attach this explosive to rudder. You seem like a knowledgeable sort of chap. Where do they put them?
It is to the stern, Benny, at the lower portion. Although, actually, having said that, Tom, airships, do they have a normal rudder? I mean, does it make sense for them to have a normal rudder like a ship would?
Yours does.
I mean, or is it like the side? You'd imagine probably we've got the little flappy things on the sticks at the sides of the ship. I'm imagining they're probably more like wings for moving in midair rather than a rudder's not going to do much, is it?
No, but we have already established that the Sterling does have a rudder because it got locked during the crash. So the Sterling certainly does have a rudder. You don't
Does
know
it
about
look
this.
like a normal ship's rudder, though? Or is it, again, a flappy thing on a... We didn't establish what it looks like.
It looks like a rudder.
Okay. In which case, Tock's advice stands. One thing, Dom, before we go. Did Tock's alchemical studies before we departed, did he meet success?
Ooh, give me an alchemy tools check.
Boop, 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 boop. And he will guide himself using... I don't want to give it away.
Okay, just guide yourself.
But yeah, I can get my automaton assistants to help me, right? With the same skills. So can I have that at advantage?
Go on, why not?
Oh, okay, awesome. That actually really helps. Instead, I'll be getting a 19.
You have indeed finished your studies and your work.
Ah, that is really awesome. Okay, so before we go over the side, assuming it will take us like a minute to descend to the Ravager at most, Tock will offer, before he goes in the bag, he'll offer Benny there'll be a potion, essentially, draught in a crystal decanter that he's stolen from the galley. And I will hand to Benny and say, Benny, this concoction will assist you in climbing on the Ravager. Grip will be difficult.
Okay. Thanks, Tock. So, I take it when we land, do I?
Incorrect. Now would be the time. The effects will persist for 1 hour.
All right, then. And he holds up the decanter and bottoms up, I guess, closes his eyes and knocks it down in one.
Okay, as he does, the consistency and the taste of it are awful. So it's kind of like kind of a slimy consistency, like it's got a horrible viscosity to it, and it tastes warm and it smells quite bad. They're quite bad, actually.
Have you liquefied your smelling salts, Tock? What the hell was that?
Incorrect, Benny. It is a concoction that was derived from Lenny the dog's saliva.
Oh, Tock.
It has many properties I am investigating.
Right. Oh.
It was intended to be used topically, Benny.
Oh dear. Oh.
I am unsure of the effects.
Okay, good. Right, well, I mean, the horrible death at the hands of the Empire seems like less of a worry now, at least. Oh, okay, Tock, are we ready?
Indeed. Tock and Tick will both climb into the bag of holding with a great sword and a barrel of gunpowder.
Vander returns from looking over the gunnels.
We're nearly in place, brothers. Are we ready?
Don't know about ready, but yeah. Maybe, do you and Augustus want to give us 5 minutes and then we'll meet you on ground?
A sound idea. We'll see you on the ground, Benny.
Next time you see me, I'll probably look like Mellencamp. Don't know if it'll work, but it seems like it might give us a couple of seconds before someone tries to stab us, doesn't it?
An improvement, Benny. We look forward to meeting you after your little adventure.
Thanks, Vander.
Godspeed.
Good luck to you both as well, says Benny, suddenly getting a bit serious as he prepares to clamber up to the edge.
Otis, are we over the target?
We will be over the target in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Vander, we are over the target.
Jump, boys.
And Benny jumps.
As he does so, Vander casts Featherfall.
Benny, the chill evening air whistles past as you fall gracefully through the sky, aiming directly towards the poop deck of the Ravager.
Benny manages to only mutter shit under his breath, making sure not to be heard, though he would like to scream very much as he flies through the air towards the deck.
As you approach the deck of the Ravager, your descent slows, slowly at first, and then faster. And as you reach the wooden deck at the top of the enormous ship, you land in an upright position onto your feet. Now that you're stationary on the deck, you realize just how big the Ravager is, perhaps 10 to 15 times the size of the Sterling. The empty poop deck creates an imposing area with the gunwales on the edges and only 2 shed-shaped structures near to one another in the center. Each has a door leading below decks.
Bennie gives his ring a little twist and in an instant takes on the visage of Christoph Mellencamp and then heads towards the nearest of those 2 doors.
As you walk across the wooden decking, your feet feel slightly sticky, like it's a tiny bit more effort to walk than normal. Tock's potion having taken full effect.
I whisper into my bag of holding, Tock, do I stick to things?
A hand comes out of the bag of holding, holding a small tablet that just says, yes.
So I decide to change tack, and rather than head for the stairs, I head to the back of the ship, technical term, and clamber over the side and start to climb down just towards the rudder.
Having built the courage, you step off the side, and to your surprise, your feet stick to the side of the ship, and despite hanging in midair, you walk comfortably along the Ravager's side, like it were flat ground.
I whisper into my bag,
I don't like this at all.
but I carry on.
Again, the little tablet comes out saying, the effect will not last long, Bennie.
That's not reassuring, Tock.
You make your way down the side of the Ravager and discover that unlike the Sterling, there is no rudder here, the ship being too massive to use something so simple. Instead, there are 2 circular engine exhausts, each the size of the Sterling. From inside each one there is a pale blue-coloured energy, which hums loudly.
I whisper,
Tock, have a look.
An automaton head just comes out of the bag of holding just briefly to observe what's going on.
Oh, give me an Arcana check at advantage.
Awesome. 26.
The Ravager is powered differently to the Sterling. The Sterling uses the air elemental. This is a completely different type of arcane magic that is being used as propulsion of it. It's incredibly powerful magic, so whoever has created it has access to powerful magic. It's difficult from your current vantage point to tell exactly what the magic is or where it's come from, but it is definitely magically powered.
Does there appear to be any sort of points of egress or attachment points of the engines to the hull? Something we could find purchase to get a barrel into?
At the point where the 2 engines sort of meet in the middle, there is an area that you could easily wedge a barrel into that would allow you to damage both engines at the same time.
So Tock will point this out by reaching a hand out of the bag of holding and just pointing at it.
Bennie sees what Tock is suggesting and nods silently and moves forward to wedge the barrel into what looks like an appropriate location.
Yeah, so if Bennie's in the correct place, then Tock will basically sort of pass it out of the mouth of the barrel into the correct place without Bennie having to lift the barrel or anything. It probably would look very strange to any observers.
Luckily, the sun has almost completely disappeared behind the horizon, which, combined with the blizzardy conditions and lack of people in this part of the Ravager, mean that you are free to move as you wish. With that freedom, you place the barrel of explosives nestled firmly in the divot between the 2 engine exhausts.
Can Tock try and estimate how much damage he reckons this is going to do to the Ravager? In terms of the thickness of metal and things, and he has a relatively good understanding of explosives.
Yeah, I don't think you need to do a check for that. The level of explosives that could come from a single barrel could definitely damage both engines. It won't knock the ship out of the sky at all, but it will severely hamper its movement.
Awesome to know. Again, the tablet will come out saying to Bennie, you may light the fuse, Bennie. It will be 1 hour. The error will be estimated to be 5 minutes.
All right then. And with slightly shaking hands, Bennie gets his tinderbox and lights the fuse.
With a fizz, it begins. You gentlemen are on the clock. You have 1 hour.
Plus or minus 5 minutes.
Will the featherfall still be working, or do I need to use the amulet?
Can we tell that the featherfall's still in effect?
It is not still in effect. It only lasts a minute, and you've taken longer than a minute to walk over the side and place it.
Tock will ready his spell slot for when Bennie jumps.
Okay, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
All right, ready? I don't know why I'm whispering. Are you ready?
Indeed.
All right,
Let's do it. Here we go again. And once more, Bennie jumps.
Tock casts Featherfall on him, as he does.
Augustus and Vander, you've seen Bennie leap into the unknown, and having waited a few seconds for the Sterling to move, you are now free to jump yourselves.
I believe it is time, Augustus.
Very well, Vander. Let us step out into the night.
Vander smiles and steps off the ship.
Augustus steps off with Vander.
And the two of you plummet through the chilly evening air. You're heading directly for the Island of the Fingers. As you approach the ground at high speed, your descent slows and you land upright on the beach to the south of the island. Beneath your feet are blackened, almost volcanic, jagged rocks, which crunch and clatter as you move. Fortunately, there is no one in your vicinity.
Vander straightens, and his cane touches one of the rocks.
Not ideal terrain for one such as myself, Augustus.
Take my arm, Vander. We should head for the entrance.
Ah, why thank you.
And Vander's gnarled hand curls around Augustus's elbow.
And we promenade up towards the door.
As you walk up the blackened beach, Augustus, you hear the voice of Corith in your head.
Augustus Zeno, you have not arrived. The citadel is too dangerous for your sister. I have sent her to the encampment you mentioned to the south.
So Augustus sends back, "Thank you, Corith. Please send more details as soon as you can. Are you sure it was my sister? Where has she been? What will she do now?"
Exactly 25, as far as I can tell.
You haven't got space for kind regards.
How will he know?
Hope this email finds you well.
They are. Yeah.
You've landed on the southern beach shore of the island. To the north is the Fingers Prison, tall, imposing walls with arrow slits all across it. You can see the main entrance in line with the blueprints that is ahead of you, slightly to the right. To use the back entrance, you would need to go left.
Vander raises one finger in the air.
If my understanding of the winds is correct, Augustus, we will shortly be joined by our brothers.
Very good, Vander.
And mere seconds later, Bennie lands gently beside you.
I'm an admiral, you know.
Says Vander, a smile creeping across his broken face.
Brothers, I assume the first step has been completed.
Yeah. We found something that looked a bit like an engine and, well, we attached the gunpowder to it. I don't think it'll take the whole thing out, but it's better than now.
Can I check, does any of us have a watch?
What, like a digital one? Or?
So we're just dead reckoning an hour now.
Well, tell you what, Al, as shortly after I turn back into looking like Bennie, the thing's going to explode. That'll be a good sign.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good way of doing it.
Well, depending on the context, doesn't it? Yeah. It might be a really bad way of doing it.
We've just been caught, and here comes the big boom.
Yeah. I would just say your ability to climb lasts an hour as well, Bennie. Dave.
Well then, Captain,
Says Vander, turning back to Augustus.
I believe it is your time.
Very well. Let's just march up to the doors.
Tock will get out the blueprint of the fingers that he has copied so that we can make our way around.
So you can either go to the back entrance there or to the main entrance there.
Can we see, I mean, obviously I know Tock's in a bag with his periscope. Can he see anything? Can we see anybody standing outside at the main entrance?
Indeed. Before reaching the building, there are metal gates, and every 80 feet or so along the metal fencing are wooden guard towers. There are lights flickering on each tower, highlighting the guards who are in them. There is a singular, reinforced double gate near to the main entrance, which you'll need to go through if you wish to continue.
Oh, it doesn't seem like much for it. We're going to have to go for the gate, aren't we? It doesn't feel like there's any sneaking in if the guards are close together and lit up on the walls.
You did mention it's nighttime, right?
Correct. With the sundown, the daylight has gone entirely, and the darkness and temperature have dropped.
Otherwise, I imagine the Sterling would have been seen.
At the last moment before we reach the gate, Augustus is going to use his channel divinity, Emissary of Peace. As a bonus action, you grant yourself +5 bonus to charisma, brackets persuasion, for the next 10 minutes.
So you guys are heading for the main gate?
Just to squeeze in a quick paladin brag, but my tenets of my oath include peace and that violence should be a last resort. And my hope here is that I can persuade people and therefore avert the need for violence.
We'll see.
An arrow hits Augustus. Augustus and Mellencamp marching side by side with our torturer coming along behind in the kind of interested way that a torturer would, lingering back until he's required.
Very cool. I just feel I should say that. This is all very cool. You approach the main gates, which are open, and you can hear muttering coming from the guard posts on either side. A bounder in a very neat uniform with white epaulets approaches you holding a clipboard. Good evening, and Custodian Mellencamp.
Don't talk to me. He's the one that's in charge here.
Oh, sorry. And who are you?
I'm Captain Callum MacLeod. We're here to see a prisoner.
Oh, sorry. Which prisoner is that? You'll have to excuse me. There's an awful lot going on. Obviously, the Emperor's here, as you know, and we've got visitors coming from all over ready for the trial tomorrow. And which prisoner is it you're here to see?
What lovely polite guards. Kaelin Lux.
You're here to see Kaelin Lux?
We are.
I'm afraid I don't have the authorization to give you access to see him. You'll need to speak to Lady Omicron in order to get that. She's the only one with access to the high security area of the Fingers.
Point us in the right direction.
Very well. And he leans round and looks at Vander. And the name of your third?
I am Inquisitor Raspanton.
He makes a note. An Inquisitor? Ah, I see. You will want to speak to the High Inquisitor, I presume.
I have been passed the singular directive for the time being.
I feel I should at least mention to you that he is inside. I presume you know that already.
I am aware, thank you, guardsman.
Please go right in, Christoph. It's unlike...
Of course.
Having effectively been kind of offhanded dismissed, you see a little flash of irritation in his face, and then he just waves you through the gates. I love how absolutely not interested Dave is in.
Felt like he was about to tell us where to go.
There is a path dead ahead that leads you to the large double-doored entrance to the Fingers. 2 wooden doors. Everything is very functional looking here. There's nothing ornate or architecturally interesting. It's a very fundamental. In fact, as you look at it, you probably think that this used to be a fortress that has somehow been converted into a prison. It's very sturdy. The 2 doors are open, and outside, gathering around, are a number of bounders with white epaulets on their shoulders, and they seem to be talking in a hurried manner to one another as you approach.
Okay, so Augustus is going to attempt to sweep past them, and I would like to highlight at this point my position of privilege. Commoners defer to me.
Amazing.
I'm amazed you've not tried to use that against Bennie before.
Right. Seeing you approach, you can tell that there's a few muttered comments, but the way in which you carry yourself alongside Christoph Mellencamp and with what appears to be an obvious inquisitor behind, the group of bounders part like a sea, allowing you clean entrance directly into the prison.
Can we hear what they were talking about?
Give me an perception check.
22.
You can overhear fevered muttering, people talking about Lady Omicron and 2 other Shadow Vanguard who arrived hours earlier, who are inside.
Troubling.
You continue to walk along the long corridor into the Fingers. Inside the entrance corridor, the Fingers is bustling with activity. Most give you a wide berth as Augustus uses his position of privilege to cut a sway through the great unwashed masses. A number notice you, Dave, in your disguise as Christoph Mellencamp, while a few more have their eyes trained on the Inquisitor bringing up the rear. You guys make quite the imposing trio.
Who'd have thought, imposing with no Tock?
Socially imposing, something Tock didn't quite manage.
You guys head along the corridor towards the door heading to the left. The muttering of the people in the corridor continues. Everyone seems to be busy rushing around, and while they do get out of your way, not a lot of attention is paid to you other than the odd cursory glance, mainly at the Inquisitor. You turn left. Well, there's a door immediately to your right and immediately to your left, and then the corridor goes on and splits into a T-junction. At the end of the T-junction, you see a 7-foot-tall, incredibly slender humanoid in deep red robes that seems to be moving from the right-hand side to the left-hand side, head completely obscured by a hood And it doesn't even look like they're walking. They're almost gliding along the floor.
I would like to use my research and knowledge to see if I can work out what that is.
You have never seen anything like this before. There is nothing that you have read about or studied or experienced that can tell you what or who this is.
Okay.
Okay, well, not wanting to engage that, and in line with what we said, Augustus will stride to the left and open the door and walk into the courtroom, or what is marked as the courtroom on the blueprint that we have.
You open the door, stride in, and before you are hundreds of seats circling round an area in the center, which is obviously where a judge sits, and there are spots for defendants and prosecution. Very much courtroom. It is empty save for one person, who is a bounder dressed in a smart uniform, who spins round upon your entry. Ah, Christoph, you old fuck. What are you doing here?
Well, as Emperor's orders had to come back. Let me introduce chaps in charge here. And a gesture to Augustus.
Captain MacLeod gives him a sort of steely, slightly bored look and says, Captain MacLeod.
Oh, pleasure to meet you. Custodian Garrick. And he steps forward and offers his hand.
He gets a bone-crushing handshake for his trouble.
Oh, firm grip. Like it.
Behind Augustus's back, Bennie, as Mellencamp, is making like throat-slitting gestures to try to encourage this man to kind of like tone it down and get the impression that MacLeod is an extremely serious character who doesn't tolerate fools.
Nice.
Cool, give me a performance check.
8.
The bounder looks at you for a moment, slightly confusedly, and then looks back to Augustus. So what brings you here today?
Will Lux be tried here tomorrow?
Yes, that's right.
What time?
The trial is set for 9 a.m.
Very well. Where can we pass the time?
Well, you could stay in here if you want to.
For the night?
No, give me a persuasion. Give me an
persuasion! Persuasion! I want to do a persuasion!
Give me a persuasion check.
Yeah. That's 25.
He looks sort of interested and apologetic, and of course, you can stay in the Lunadyne officer's office. It'll be quiet. Our officer is not here in the next few days. There's a space where you could stay.
It's empty?
It is.
Very well. Show us the way.
Well, Christoph knows where it is. He can take you.
And MacLeod turns to Christoph and says, show us the way.
Right. Christoph's a blowhard. That's that much I've learned.
Captain, you're forgetting the sentencing documentation, if you please.
Very well. We wish to review the documents.
The documents for the trial?
Not the trial tomorrow. Disposals for previous trials. They are usually kept in the courtroom.
I'm afraid all sensitive documentation is held by Lady Omicron, although I believe that she's handed it over to Paragon Ohm.
Most unusual, Guardsman. Where did you say this documentation is held?
I suspect it's in Lady Omicron's office.
I see. Apologies then, Captain, as you were.
Is Lady Omicron in her office?
I believe she's on one of the wings, showing the other two Shadow Vanguard a prisoner.
As I said, Captain, for me to ask the correct questions, I will of course need previous disposals.
You'll have to excuse me. You say ask the right questions. Why are you asking the questions?
I am Inquisitor Rasputin. I have been asked here to ask questions. That is all you need to know, Guardsman.
Give me a deception check.
22.
I see. My apologies. I thought Joseph was the one doing the interrogation on prisoner 858. I don't have access to the documentation. The documentation is in Lady Omicron's office. I cannot go into there. There is clear procedure about these things. I can certainly take you to Lady Omicron, to her office, and we can await her return, if that is to your liking.
That is as it should be, Guardsman. I take it from your words that Joseph has already arrived.
Yes, of course.
That is well. Then please, take us to Lady Omicron's office.
Okay, it's well, as Christoph will tell you, it's just across the hallway.
There's no need. I know the way. Don't trouble yourself.
Okay. This apologies. I feel like I have in some way made a mistake here. I can be a little rambunctious. I don't mean any offense by it. And he's sort of addressing MacLeod here a little bit, whose stern face appears to be causing him a little bit of consternation.
MacLeod ignores that says, if we should wish to see Omicron and the other Shadow Vanguard right away, where should we go?
If you head to cell block B, I believe they are currently there to interrogate a spy from Cantioch.
Very well. How should we find it? I realise Mellencamp should know this.
That's fine. As if you head out of the door that you came in, take a left, another left, and then a right. And you will find yourself onto the main floor where most of the cell blocks are. It is the cell block in the middle of the three that are lined up together, at the far end.
Thank you.
And I'm going to kind of usher the group to the exit and sort of hold the door for them.
See you later, Christoph.
Christoph tries to look sort of panicked. And then, are you guys leaving?
Yes, coming with you.
Yeah, I guess we're following your lead. I think we've sort of said we're going to the Lunadyne officer's office, and we've said we're going a few places, but...
There's no one in the corridor outside, is there?
Just a smattering of bounders, but no one's really paying you any attention.
And a gliding 7-foot figure.
He's disappeared now.
Great.
As you go through the door, I say, I'll be with you in one moment, gentlemen. And I go back into the courtroom and shut the door and say, I'm so sorry about this. These people have as little to do with them as possible, honestly. And then I open the door, close it again quickly behind me, and I'm back in the corridor.
Good advice.
The bounder, you can see him almost looking relieved at what you've said, and he nods and kind of gives you a smile and then turns around to continue what he was doing when you entered.
So it sounds like Omicron's office is empty. Do we want to make a beeline for there?
Well, I think there appears to be a door to it from the Lunadyne officer's office, so I think for appearances, it'd be better if we go where we said we'd go.
Good thinking.
And we do some sneaky after that.
You leave the corridor with the courtroom, turn right, then left, and walk up a long corridor, still drawing little attention beyond a few people who move out of your way. You reach the door of the room marked on the map as the Lunadyne officer's office. It is unlocked, like every other door you have seen since you entered. And inside is a area with a number of beds and stacks and stacks of parchment paper. It looks like the kind of nightmare scenario that every administrator hates. A place with zero filing. It's quite dusty. There clearly hasn't been anyone in here in a while, but it is empty. There are 3 doors, one to the west, the one that you just came through, and another one to the south that, according to the map, heads to Lady Omicron's office. You shut the door behind you as you enter and are alone in the room.
What do you think, gentlemen?
We definitely want to check if the door is somehow alarmed.
Yeah, can I take a good look at the door?
It's not really the people sneaking in behind us. It's more what he's going to find in front of us that's concerning me.
Give me a perception or investigation check, please.
That's a 25 for investigation.
Not only are there no traps, the door has no lock, much like the other one. It should be fairly easy to just walk straight through with no issues.
Would Bellerophon fit under the door so we can get a look into the room?
No, the slit
Okay.
under the door, unfortunately, is too narrow for such a chunk.
I don't like it. It's too easy. Why aren't any doors locked?
Would imagine there is some arcane mechanism for locking doors in this place. But unfortunately, I believe our window of opportunity closes even now. I suggest bold action is the way forward here.
This is bold action on my part again, isn't it?
Indeed it is, Bennie. A fine job you're doing tonight.
And he takes a deep breath, remembering that discretion is the better part of valor. Opens the door with his mage hand.
True hero.
The door is opened with the mage hand, and you are immediately hit with a sumptuous sweet smell, like that of molten chocolate. Inside the room is lavishly furnished. There is a beautiful varnished oak desk. There are a number of jars and bottles all the way around on shelving, various books, and a number of potted plants of various types that are growing all over the place. As you look further in, there is a bed with a bedside cabinet, chest of drawers, a small table with 4 chairs around it. It's really, really nicely decorated.
A little periscope comes out of the bag and points towards the plants.
There is no one in the room, I should add.
Can I do an investigations check? I'm looking for documentation in Lady Omicron's hand specifically, but also any information about our prisoners?
Absolutely.
Tock will help by, again, the little tablet will come out the bag and will direct Bennie to two areas on the blueprints that say vault at the rear of the room.
Someone roll at advantage for investigation.
Okay.
And Tock's going to guide them with his knowledge of like arcane.
There we go.
Okay.
That's a 27 then. Wow. I miss nothing.
You begin to ransack Lady Omicron's office, and you find a number of documents related to the high security prisoners. There are 8 high security prisoners in total. There are names associated with each cell and each prisoner number. The prisoners in the high security area are Cell 1, Prisoner 1, Automaton, Cell 2, Prisoner 855, Amber, Cell 3, Prisoner 917, Rothskill, Cell 4, Prisoner 858, Kalen Lux, Cell 5, Prisoner 78, Eveline Caxton, Cell 6, Prisoner 521, Stephen Sikora, Cell 7, Prisoner 1065, Axel Runholm, Cell 8, Prisoner 1121, Azurabella Clearvale. On top of that, you also find a journal belonging to Lady Omicron, which is written in a dialect you cannot understand. There are a number of sort of blueprints and sketches to do with ceremonies, rituals, experimentations, but you can't make out what any of the words actually mean from a cursory glance.
Specifically Vander, or are we all looking?
No one can understand this script. I'm assuming you guys are kind of passing this information around one another while you're in there. And finally, at the back of the office, you find a 27 is such an impossibly massive score. You find a small click button that when you push it opens a secret compartment leading to a vaulted area. In the vault is a chest with thousands of gold coins in it. You also find a huge gleaming blue gemstone that is vibrating with energy.
And I discern what the gemstone does.
Give me an Arcana check.
Tock is absolutely gonna aid Vander in this, both aid and guide.
Cool. Roll at advantage and add guidance, please.
Okay, so that's a 22.
It is definitely a powerful arcane object. It is not simply a gemstone. 22 is pretty high. You don't know exactly what it does, but it looks to you like it's sending a signal to another gemstone.
How big is it?
Like this big, like the size of a cantaloupe.
What a great size reference.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, if I may, I have a suggestion.
Go on.
I suggest we take the gold and the book, as the book definitely alludes to rituals. I think will tell us much of the Empire's plans. While I am intrigued by the stone, its connection to another suggests to me that moving it may trigger some form of alarm. If we were to forge a document in Lady Omicron's hand, which is now possible, as we know her writing, we could maybe proceed directly to the high security area, gain entrance, and free our prisoners. What say you?
I would find that plan to be acceptable, Vander.
Very good, Vander. Time's against us. Let's go.
Can I just ask, can't believe it's going to be me that asks this. Do we want to make it look like no one were ever here? And can we take the gold and still do that?
I think our chances of escaping with no one knowing we were ever here, Bennie, are close to 0. I suggest we stuff Tock's bag of holding with every penny we can find. Perhaps leave a crudely drawn, rude picture behind.
For the paladins encouraging robbery.
In this particular case, my dear Bennie, I positively applaud robbery. I mean, Augustus is thinking, like, sweep a bunch of stuff in a bag and let's go.
Yeah, but we're in the vault, right? So she would have to actually kind of open the vault and have a proper look to notice anything missing. I say, all right, but let's make sure room's tidy at least, so it's not obvious.
Read.
Fine.
Tock will start sweeping stuff into the bag of holding.
To give you a ballpark, I'll give you the exact figures after. There's about 8,000 gold coins here.
Wow. Okay.
Well, our messy sweeping probably gets about half of that. I don't know.
No, we're taking it all.
And then I reckon back through the Lunodyne officer's office and then out of that door so we don't have to answer any questions about why we're emerging from the Omicron office.
I like that.
Agreed.
Tock, while you're in the vault, Sir Cog contacts you.
Master, Slate Home information obtained. City fallen under assault. Remaining locals gathered for mining work. Closed to visitors. Imperial airship stationed above. Defenses in Deepmond increased.
Shit. Hang on, so the Tamwraiths were in charge, weren't they, Dave? So
They were.
presumably the Empire has taken direct control over the city now.
Sounds that way.
Never anything good in the news, is there? It's never happy news.
Yeah, Tock will relay the news to everyone.
Can Bennie send a message to Botho?
Of course.
Bennie just sends a simple message. Botho, let me know you're alive.
You get an immediate response.
Empire have crushed Slate Home. Locals rounded up for mining of precious metals. Shadow Vanguard knows of you. Brutal. Stay away. Sending in the city is compromised. Goodbye, friend.
Oh no. Sending compromised? Didn't know that was the thing.
Vander sends a message to Bardal Schultz, but it is intended for Plex.
Bardal, a message for Plex. Execute order 151.
Can I have a perception check from everyone, please?
So Tock will be back in the bag as soon as he's done. I don't know if Tick gets up. He's in the bag, I think, probably still. So I'll say probably not the last one.
Okay, give me some numbers.
That's 20 for perception from Augustus.
19 for Vander.
20 from Tock.
And 11 for Bennie.
We'll have that a team perception to avoid anyone blaming Bennie for anything bad. While you're sweeping the last of the gold coins into the bag, you can hear very prominent female voices coming from the other side of the door to the south, not the door you entered.
Do we think we've got a chance to bolt through the door we came in through before they arrive?
You can certainly try.
Could we close ourselves in the vault that we're in at the moment? As in, is it easy access?
I say bolt for the door. Everyone's bolting for the door.
I've got to athletics check and I am going to fail it.
Vander turns to the group,
Brothers, into the vault, now.
and Vander shuffles towards the, well, we're already mostly in the vault. So assuming we're in the vault, in the last moments as the door closes, Vander places Bellerophon on the floor and he scuttles out to remain in the room.
And with a clunk, the door shuts and you are in the vault with the door shut and Bellerophon the other side. Bellerophon, being a chameleon, is easily able to disguise himself amongst one of the small potted plants, blending into his surroundings. I presume you don't want him to lick anyone who enters? Just thought I'd check.
No, there's a no lick policy.
The door swings open, and Vander, through Bellerophon's eyes, can see 3 women enter the room. Each is dressed distinctly and differently from one another. The first has her greying hair up in a bun and is wearing a perfectly tailored waistcoat and trousers. The second, with wild blonde hair, is dressed head to toe in brown leather, looking very much like a hunter, while the third has short black hair and has a many-coloured flowing dress. Once inside, the one with her hair in a bun shuts the door. As you can see, I have upheld my end of the bargain. We've captured a handful of spies from other continents and are working on getting information from there. Meanwhile, Kalen Lux's trial will take place in the morning. He will of course be found guilty and, as far as anyone else is concerned, executed for his crimes. We obviously know better. He will be stationed in Gramplona to replace Morven following his disappearance. So as you can see, everything is coming along nicely. Come, sisters. Sit with me. And she takes them over to the table, and the 3 of them sit. The one with the hair in a bun pulls out a knife, ornate silver encrusted with red jewels, and she slices a cut on her hand and passes the blade around to the other women, who do the same. The hushed one. The others repeat. The hushed one. The time of the Emperor's ascension approaches. There is much to be done. But when we finally have success, there will be much power and many boons to be gifted to those who have appeared loyal throughout. And we do all of this in his name. He is the one who haunts our dreams. Together, the 3 bow their heads. The 4 of you continue to listen from within your secret vault, your minds swimming with everything you've heard about Kalen, the Emperor, Slate Home, and the Hushed One. Meanwhile, in the corner of the secret vault, the blue crystal gently pulsates with arcane power. and we will end it there.
You've been listening to Dice Company's Small Embers, starring Dave Windust as Bennie Quez, Alex Morrison as Augustus Zeno, Charlie Blackadder as Vander Finnick, and Harry King as Tock, with Tom Patrick as your Dungeon Master.
The humans of Dice Company would like to thank the following sweethearts for their support. Marshall 001, Marky B, Darcy Thompson, Jenny the War Camel, Stephen Sakura, Nori Gosler, Mickey Arnold, Happy Daddy Scotty, Tika, SJ Phionics, Richard Ungamus, Rabbi Camel, Team Vander, Paris Hakar, Path Pursuit, Julia Zeno, Shovels, Mama Strange, Queenie, Liz Beckett, Axel Runholm, and Chris from North London.
Ominous.
Is Kaelin a bad guy?
Well, we have established that they can turn people into Shadow Vanguard against their will. Presumably he would be, I would have imagined, a dark tyro. I don't know what they call the trainee people, but yeah.
A Vander.
Yeah. No.
For one second,
the ones who work for them.
1 second, I think, be like, you're describing the three women, and the third is a turtle.
That would have been amazing.
Shadowmancer Rosalind. Or you could get the wife. You could get you could get the. So much.
We could get that put on a t-shirt.
Now let's all just wait so Charlie can say his funny little comment.
No, I would
make us laugh, funny man.
Hashtag funny little comment.
Okay, I know it's gonna flop now, but I'm going anyway. You could get the What a Paladin t-shirt and be the first of our paladins. And it's terrible now. I get that. I get it's out of sequence. You pricks.
Also mean.
It was a dig at Augustus though, which I do appreciate.
Happy. It was the meanness behind it that made me continue.
No one thought of pairing these two things. It'd be like, I don't know, what are two things that you put salt and pepper? I don't know, what's no one ever thought of pairing? That's literally the most famous things you do pair, isn't it?
Butter and kiwis.
It's really upsetting me. Someone think of two things that shouldn't be paired that famously go well together. It's tickling my brain.
Famously go well together.
Chocolate and chili.
Oh, that's a good shout. What was that one, Chags?
Toothpaste and orange juice.
Creme de menthe and hangovers. Creme de menthe and runny eggs.
Peanut butter and Marmite.
Oh, come on now.
It works.
Yeah.
Got no earthly reason to. Yeah, it does.
We know
Sell
famous
it.
sandwich,
That
isn't
is
it?
a construction material.
They sell it in supermarkets now. It's that big.
Yeah.
They sell all sorts of crap. They sell bacon-flavoured crisps in supermarkets.
Yeah.
I don't. What's your point?
They sell peanut butter and chocolate, and that is awful.
You never had a Reese's peanut butter cup? That's a classic.
Yeah, actually, chocolate peanut butter just clags.
Well, peanut butter's fucking dreadful anyway.
I mean,
Take that back.
I will not take it back. It's my popular, unpopular opinion of the week. Last week it was Poirot. This week, peanut butter. Get in the sea.
You are surrounded by peanut butter lovers.
I feel ambivalent towards peanut butter.
Yes, Shags.
I am
That's
surprised.
team anti, as far as I'm concerned.
Is it?
surprised
Hell
and
surprise, Shags. Hell surprise.
If peanut butter did get in the sea, it might clog it up.
I bet that he only doesn't like peanut butter because it's too mainstream.
I used to like it when it was white label, but
Yeah, exactly. When it was a cult following. But now,
Peanut butter is like the Man City of spreads.
back in wartime
Super,
when it was
everyone likes
replacing
it now.
butter, yeah, it was fine. But now,
So I was Googling. So there's actually a mushroom called the Amadou mushroom, which was used as fuses in medieval times for cannons and for literally this. But it's, you can estimate how much it is, but it's not precise.
Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Great use of the fingers.
what do we know about her?
She's the master of psychological warfare.
Yeah. Illusions and such like, and minds.
She's got a PhD in mindfuckery.
Point of order, the caller role is 100% not a leader. It's just the person who relays stuff to the GM. I'm not saying we should change what we're doing. Just for reference, in D&D, the caller is specifically not that.
It is now called the quarterback.
Yeah,
that's
QB.
yeah.
QB1.
QB1. We've got it. We've got a plan.
He makes the first move, and others can change the play, but they can't change where the QB is throwing the ball in the first place.
Was that the sound of the police?
It was so uncanny. It's like,
Was that the sound of the police? Oh, darling, was that the sound of the police?
I say.
Lore.
Thanks for listening. Please consider supporting Dice Company on Patreon, where for the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to a whole other show, Extra Roll, as well as an ad-free listening experience. The Dice Company Discord server, along with our socials, can be found on our Linktree in the show notes. If you enjoyed this chapter, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to recommend us to your friends. If you didn't like it, recommend us to your enemies. And we'll see you next time on Dice Company.